Good evening. Hello, and normally I'd say welcome to the art studio, but we are not painting today. Though I may paint later. It is late, but I feel the need to get some creativity off my chest. I have a piece that I'm working on. Maybe just add a little bit to. I always say I'm gonna add a little bit to, but then 5 hours later, I'm still working on it. But I was leaving work today, and I wanted to use the other phone and go live on Facebook as well, but I wouldn't be able to manage both comments. So those of you who will watch this on Facebook when I post it, sorry. I do apologize. But I was leaving work today, and I was just thinking that today we had parent-teacher conferences, and this is my fourth parent-teacher conference at the school I'm at now. And it's, I'm not starting my fourth year, I'm in my fourth year already, but it's amazing how quickly time has flown. Started there November 14th, 2019, and here we are, November 22nd, 2022. And, told my mother when I spoke to her, I said, yeah, this is my fourth parent-teacher conference, fourth Thanksgiving, fourth evacuation, fourth evacuation drill. Well, no, third. We did not have one in 2020 because of the pandemic. It was a virtual day, so we were home anyway. But yeah, I was just thinking that the journey very often looks different when you're on it from when you first started. It very often looks different. When I graduated high school in 2005, I had a plan. I had a pretty good plan, actually. Go to college, graduate, start teaching, get married, have children, become a dean, then an assistant principal and a principal, and move up through the ranks in administration. I had a plan. Parts of my plan came to fruition, but not the way I thought they would. Starting college 2 years after I graduated high school was not part of my plan. Taking a year off from college for reasons we won't talk about was not part of my plan. Hey, P. Switching schools was not part of my plan. There were detours. There were detours that were taken, and I think we need to understand that when these detours happen, we have to give ourselves space and grace to feel what we feel about the detour. The things that I just listed, I wasn't happy about any of them. I was very upset. I had a plan. I knew what I was going to do. I was going to graduate, college, teach, wife, children, move up in the ranks. And it did not happen that way. I'm now in my 10th year of teaching. There are certain things in my life that I thought I would have accomplished by now that I have not. There were certain people in my life who I thought would be here at this juncture, and they are not. And I think too often we just keep going. We just keep, we have that that Dory mentality. Just keep swimming, just keep swimming, just keep swimming, swimming, swimming. What do? We swim. And while, yes, we do have to keep swimming, we cannot act like what's happened didn't affect us in any kind of way. And we can't feel bad because of how we feel about what's affected us. I was pissed when I lost my job at the first school that I was at. I felt betrayed. The whole process, took an extreme toll on me. And I was unable to just act like, okay, darn, lost this job. Let me just swim right on to the next one. And I'm thankful to God that I didn't miss a day of employment. My last day at one job was the 13th. My first day at the next job was the 14th. So I'm eternally grateful for that. But that doesn't negate the fact that I was pissed when I lost my job. When I had to take time off from school, and this is after every possible loan, every grant, begging and pleading with financial aid and doing everything that I could do, and just not having enough financial resources to cover things at that time. To take a year from school, I was pissed. I did the usual, it's not fair. Why did this happen to me? I went through all of that. And typically when we do that, we're, no, not supposed to have those reactions. We're supposed to be full of faith and grateful for the opportunities that we're given. And while that is true, we cannot negate how we feel, because what ends up happening, hey, Caitlin, who in the world is Austin? Lord, this... How are you? I hope all is well. We can't negate what we're feeling. We can't negate our experiences. You had plans. Things have happened. The plans may have been deterred or delayed or detoured, or whatever the case may be. You feel some kind of way about it. You're mad at the people involved. You're mad at yourself. Oh, okay, got you. You're mad at whoever you're mad at, and it's fine. It really is. Hello, daughter. We are human. We're going to feel how we feel. When I injured my leg, I was not happy about that. Being laid up for an entire summer, barely able to, hobble around. I was not happy about that. But I couldn't just, stand on, literally I couldn't stand, but couldn't stand on faith. And we have to stop with the platitudes. We have to stop with the smoke and mirrors, and be real and experience whatever it is we are experiencing, because by ignoring it, we're just pushing it to the side, where we're discrediting it, where we're limiting ourselves. There's something in that experience that is going to make us, supposedly, that's going to make us a better person. Even if you don't feel like it's going to make you a better person, you will at the very least be empathetic towards someone else who's going through that experience down the line. But if we just push it under the rug, oh, I'm fine, oh, no, okay, just keep swimming, we're not allowing it to really sit there, and we're not dealing with it. We're pushing it to the side. We're avoiding it. And too many of us move through life avoiding what we're feeling, avoiding our triggers, avoiding what's happened to us, instead of actually dealing with it. Because when you deal with it, it really has no more control over you. Tonight's episode is about the journey. When you deal with these triggers, these traumas, and they don't have that control over you anymore. It's when you push it to the side, when you try to pack it in the closet, hide it from the rest of the world, put on this facade, that they control you. Because now you have to move a certain way so that you stay, you don't, when you use filters, you have to stay within the realm of the filter, because you move a little to the left or a little to the right, then the filter comes off. That's what happens when you're trying to hide and avoid what you're dealing with, what's happened to you. Some things you will be able to handle on your own. Some things you'll be able to tackle, sit, and process. There are other things that you may or not may, you will need to seek professional help with. I make now I make no bones about it. Before, I really didn't want to tell anyone anything, but I've been in therapy. I think January will be 3 years, maybe something, 3 or 4 years. And first of all, I never thought I would be in January. And my plan and my trajectory of life and the way things would happen, I was never going to be in therapy. But then when I got into therapy, I was like, all right, fine. Things are getting too much for me to deal with. I need some help. Let's deal with this issue. This is the issue we want to deal with. I want to deal with just this. And as we were dealing with this, then, things started to be revealed, and suddenly we got a lot more to deal with. And now, here we are, 3-4 years later, and I'm like, how did we get here? That was part of my journey. And I did an audio recording maybe a week ago. It's pinned to my page if you didn't hear it. And I talk about how some of us are in the middle of a certain portion of our journey, and we knew where we were when we started this portion of our journey. We got a glimpse of what the end point of this portion of our journey would be, but where we are in the middle, it doesn't look anything like what the end is. And I'm there. I'm not just shooting from the hip. I'm talking from experience. We're at I'm in a point in my journey where I'm like, none of this looks like what I thought life would be. I turned 35 in September. Yes, I know I have a ton of gray hair that hopefully tomorrow my loctician can cover up, because these kids. But if you asked 18-year-old Dr. Bell what 35-year-old Dr. Bell's life would be like, it would not mirror what it does today. And in the 17 years since oh my God, that's a frightening fact. 17 years since I've graduated from high school, I've gained a tremendous amount of experience, knowledge, wisdom, just insight that, had things gone according to the way I wanted them to go, I may not have gained. But I had to learn that I can't just put on everything is perfect and, there's no issues and I'm just super duper happy, and I can't do that because it's not real. It's actually, doing that is an insult to what you've endured. It's an insult to your strength. When you sit here and try to put on this facade and everything is perfect, or that everything's all right, that it's not bothering you, that you're just going to power through, you are insulting your experience. You're insulting, your strength, the strength that it took for you to make it through, because some people didn't make it through a similar situation. Some people lost their minds. Some people lost their lives. Some people lost everything, but you made it through. And so acting like it didn't bother you, that's not a show of strength. That's hiding. And too many of us are hiding. We're avoiding. We're not dealing with, the aftermath. Think about an earthquake. You can't deny that an earthquake happened. There's evidence that an earthquake happened. We can't deny that things have happened to us because there's evidence that things have happened to us. We're not the same person. I don't know why I look so yellow. This is just my lighting. I do not have jaundice. And so, as we're on this journey called life and trying to figure this thing out one day at a time, we have to be kind to ourselves. We have to give ourselves the grace to say, you know what, this did not work out the way I wanted it to. Doesn't mean it's not going to work out. Doesn't mean we're not going to circle back. And, certain things, I believe that it's not a no, it's a not right now. There are things that we want, things that we want to do, places we want to go. And it's a not right now. It's, you have some more growing to do. It's not time for that yet. So I do believe that certain things we will circle back around to. But there are other things that just wasn't in the plan. We can be upset about that. We can be annoyed about that. That's fine. That is your natural reaction. Acting like you're not, it's not realistic. It's not true. There's this big move, be your true self, be your best self, be your highest self. Part of being the best of who you are is acknowledging everything that has happened to you. Because if it didn't happen to you, you would not be who you are today. If I did not lose my job or have it unceremoniously taken away from me, depending on how you want to look at the situation, those of you who know, I wouldn't be who I am today. I had to deal with that entire situation in order to embrace the students that I have now, embrace the people that I'm sent to now. We have plans. We get to a point in our lives, and in the journey of our lives, we're like, okay, I know what I want to do. I know where I want to go. I can pretty much anywhere that I go on my normal day-to-day life, I don't have to use maps. I don't have to use, I almost said MapQuest. Oh, wow. Throwback. I don't have to use Google Maps or anything like that. I know where I'm going. But every now and again, there'll be a detour. And then I have to pull out the map. I'm like, I don't know how to get to where I'm going from here. Life is full of detours. This journey is full of detours. Hi, Ma. That's right. It is important not to lie to yourself. And for the most part, they are inconvenient. I don't think I've ever been conveniently detoured. Or, let me say it this way, at the time of the detour, I didn't find it convenient. But perhaps the detour saved me time on the back end. Or the detour spared us some experiences that we really didn't want to go through. But at the time, it just seemed like a major inconvenience. So in this journey, we must be honest. This is how I felt about this situation. That doesn't mean I feel that way permanently. I was very angry at the people who I held and may or may not still hold responsible for what happened at my previous job. I was very angry at other situations in life that happened. Then I was angry. Now I realize it was a setup. I was being, the path had to be shifted. Because if I stayed going on that particular trajectory, I would have missed so many of my experiences now. But that doesn't negate how I felt at the time. And what I'm not going to do is act like things don't bother me. I'm not going to act like things don't affect me. And I admonish you not to do that either. Moving, you have to move from your childhood home to a new place. You don't want to move, but you have to move for whatever reason. You can't tell me that that's not affecting you. You have to change schools. You can't tell me that that's not affecting you. A relationship that you thought was in it for the long haul ends. You can't tell me that's not going to affect you. Your children move out to start their own lives. You can't tell me that that's not going to affect you. Just because something is good inherently, children moving out to be productive adults, friends and family getting married, having their own children. All those are great things. People getting promotions on their job, buying new homes. Those are wonderful things. But when you find yourself looking from the other side, like, oh, yay, congratulations. But there's somewhere on the inside, it's like, if things had gone my way, I'd have had a new house, a new car, a new this, a new that. You can be very happy for someone and still, I'm trying to say it as clearly as possible. This is why I like having a script so I can, just look at the teleprompter that's not there. One day it'll be there. It's in my Amazon account. You can be very happy for someone and celebrate them and still feel, I don't want to say regret. You can still feel some kind of way because you wanted it as well and it hasn't happened for you yet. My best friend, William, has like 52 kids. Is he on? I don't think he's on. He gonna hurt me for saying that. And my other best friend, Miranda, she's got a son. I have no biological children. I have children that I have collected throughout the years. I think one of them is still on now. And I love my children who I didn't have to go through the diaper, potty training, terrible twos. I didn't have to go through any of that. I got them when they were teenagers, which came with a whole other set of issues. But I love them. Right, exactly, Ma. Still wondering, when is it my turn? Especially when, you've done it right. You paid your dues. You did everything you were supposed to do. And it's happening for everyone. I promise y'all right now, two of my, I've got 4 best friends, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm very blessed. 2 of them are currently with child. Like I said, my other 2 have already had children. 2 of my sisters are pregnant. One of my cousins is currently pregnant. 2 of my cousins, their significant others, just had their second children. So both of them now have 2 children. So I'm surrounded by people, being pregnant and having babies. And I'm just like, congratulations. Yay. Wonderful. This is awesome. When's it my turn? And we talk about not being envious of others, and we should not. Envy is not of God. It's not a good look. But you can still desire it. I still want to have children. I still want to have a family. I love my little brother who lives with me. He has become like one of my kids. Because he don't listen. He do not listen. Oh my God, he don't listen to me. But I want to come home to the little feet running across the floor because daddy's home and they're excited and they tackle me at the door. I'm looking forward to that. And before I would feel like a horrible person, I text my therapist. Y'all know I have a flair for the dramatic. I text my therapist when William was pregnant. Not William, when Ashley, his wife, was pregnant with their 3rd child. And I text her just this very dramatic message. I am the worst person in the world. My best friend's pregnant again, and I'm happy for him, but I'm also mad at the world because I don't have any. I mean, it was. I thank God for my therapist learning how to deal with me because I was having a major moment. And, she had to talk me down, and she taught me you can be happy for him and his wife, but still feel like there's something missing in your life because you wanted it as well. And so I pass that on to you. You can feel very happy for someone who got the promotion that you've been working for, who's moved into a new house and you're still trying to figure out, how you're going to move into yours, or who got a new car while you're still taking the bus, or who's getting married while you can't get a call back. You can feel very happy for people, but still be like, where's mine? Like, the point that I'm trying to drive home is, don't ignore what you're feeling. Because then bitterness is going to set in. You're walking around smiling, oh, this is great, this is wonderful, oh, another baby, congratulations, new job, congratulations, yay, yay. This fake smile plastered on your face, and you're not dealing with what's behind it. Eventually it's going to start to rot and fester and ooze out, and people will see it. You'll see it, and suddenly you're that person that no one wants to spend time with because you're always negative. You're bitter about everything because you didn't deal with what you were feeling in that moment. All of this happens on this journey called life. And I don't know where we got this idea from. We really need to tell the next generation. It's not a linear journey. It doesn't, it doesn't go this way. There are ups and downs and loops, and, it is certain things, like I said earlier, you have to circle back to. Either it's not time for you to get whatever it is, or you have to come back and deal with it so you can be released to go further. Once you deal with your trigger, your issue, whatever it is, and I don't want anyone to feel bad. This is not a video to come on and shame anyone. This is a video to help release the shame. Feeling bad or feeling what you're feeling is not a bad thing. Staying there is a problem, but that's another video. Staying there is a problem, but feeling that's not, it makes you human. It makes you human. I want to free you from this burden of, I shouldn't feel this way, especially my sisters and brothers who are believers. Oh, I'm supposed to have faith. Yes, you are supposed to have faith. Everyone in the Bible who had faith had a moment or two or three or four or five of questioning, of doubting, Elijah was like, God, I'm the only one. Why you got me out here by myself? And God had to remind him, I got 700 others who have not bowed their knee. Jesus, our Lord and Savior, our example in the Garden of Gethsemane. Let this cup pass from me. I don't want to deal with this. I remember I was in a low place. I was not in a good place. And my pastor went on sabbatical because that was apparently what she needed to do at that particular point in time. I was not happy. And as the dutiful assistant pastor, I was like, all right, well, I'll carry the burden of the ministry for, the little bit of time that she on sabbatical. Her sabbatical got extended, and then got extended again. I was really not happy. But at one point, I was not in a good place, and it was Sunday morning, and I had to preach. And we were virtual, and I think that helped, because if we were in person, I don't know if I would have been able to do it. And I got on the line, and we did our, preliminaries and whatnot. And I said, all right, the topic of my sermon today is, I don't want to do this. And they chuckled because, again, my flair for the dramatic, but I was being quite serious. That was my topic for the sermon, and it was how I was feeling. I did not want to do it. And I had to push past that. I had to acknowledge it. I don't want to do this. But even though I don't want to do this, I'm still going to do what I have to do. It was a good sermon, too. I got to see if I can find those notes. I might have to preach that again somewhere. But the fact of the matter is, Jesus did not want to deal with what he was about to deal with. It was bad. It was so bad. Pastor got on that. And that particular Sunday, she happened to get on the line. And she texted me after service, and she was like, yeah, I really felt that you did not want to do this today. But you know what? We have those days. We have those moments. I didn't stay there. I did not stay there. But that's where I was at that moment. But in the garden, Jesus did not want to endure the crucifixion that was coming. I know Noah, at some point while he was building that daggone ark, was like, these people laughing at me. They're making fun of me. My wife looking at me sideways. I don't see nan animal. Ain't a drop of rain nowhere. We ain't even getting fog. And I got to do this. Everyone that we look up to has had these moments where it's like, this can't be right. This can't be it. But we don't stay there. We acknowledge it. We acknowledge it, we deal with it, and we keep going. The Bible says in the book of Psalms, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. First of all, let's just put some things into context here. You're not even walking through death. You're walking through the valley of the shadow of death. Death ain't nowhere near you. You are walking through the valley of the shadow of death, right? The problem comes when we're not walking through it, where we get stuck. The Bible doesn't say, yea, though I go to the valley of the shadow of death and sit down and have a turkey sandwich. It says, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow. It's a journey. We are supposed to be constantly going, constantly moving, detours and all. I think my daughter said something about potholes and all. And anybody from New York or who's lived in New York, you know about these potholes. You know, Belt Parkway, Southern State Parkway. These potholes are something else. And it's part of life. We're going to have detours. We're going to have changes. Things are going to take us off of what our plan was. And that's okay. You can be angry at it. You can be upset at it. It's how you feel. I'm about to help somebody. Some of y'all are so upset about things you don't even realize it. You even upset at God about things that didn't work out, or things that had to change, or things that went a different way than what you thought it was supposed to go. He's not mad. He's not offended or anything like that. He's waiting on you to realize that you're mad at him. Come back, have a whole conversation, get that rectified, and then go about your merry way. The destination's still the same. And during Christmas break, when my mother still lived in New York, we would drive down to North Carolina. She would drive down and I would be the co-pilot. Y'all know Dr. Bell don't drive. Uber, Lyft. And let me not say the easiest. Technically, the most direct way to get from New York to North Carolina, or really New York to any point south, is I-95. Take I-95 straight south. And where we were going in North Carolina, I-95 ran straight through it. But somewhere around D.C., and anyone who has traveled south on I-95, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Somewhere around D.C., you want to avoid all of that capital traffic. So the GPS will reroute you to 295 or 395. I forget which one it is. And it takes you, instead of straight through DC, it takes you around all of that traffic and puts you back on to 95. It's a detour. Some might even consider it inconvenient, especially if it's one of your first times taking that journey. But after about the third time, we didn't even need the GPS to tell us to get off at 395. We got off automatically because we knew we were being detoured. And a few times the GPS kept us on 95. I guess the traffic wasn't bad. I don't know. But the detours are going to happen. Changes are going to happen. I promise you. I look at my life, did not think I'd be working where I'm working. Did not think I'd be living where I'm living. The change this year from my living room was my art studio. I could entertain there. I could have people over. Now that I have my live-in brother, that's his space, kind of, sort of. I go in there and harass him. Actually, when I finish this video, I'm going to go in there and attack him because that's what I do. So I had to move my studio space into my bedroom. I had to move my filming space into my bedroom. I can't even get to my desk. That's partly my fault because I have a bunch of plants over there. But a change happened, a detour happened. There are things that, have transpired, and it's like, okay, this wasn't in the plan. This wasn't in the plan. This wasn't, but it's where we are now. So I implore you, I admonish you, beloved brothers and sisters, deal with whatever it is you're feeling. It's okay to feel it. If no one else has told you, I'm telling you, it is okay to feel it. And I think I'm qualified to say it. I'm an academic. I'm an educator. I'm a minister. I've lived it. It's okay to feel it. Don't stay there. And I think that may be some of the trepidation that a few of us have. We don't want to get stuck there. And I understand it, Yes, Mija, I could have adopted you. Then I would not be paying nearly as much in taxes. But where would you stay? The boy's in the living room now. You going to stay in the kitchen? We don't want to get stuck in a certain space. And that's fine. If you don't want to get stuck there, you won't get stuck there. The fact that you don't want to get stuck there, you won't get stuck there. Deal with it. Let it go. Let it go. And then move forward. Deal with it. Deal with it. I'm telling you, you have to deal with it. Whatever you're feeling about whatever happened, you have to deal with it. If you were angry, deal with the anger. If you were hurt, deal with the hurt. If you felt betrayed, deal with the feeling of betrayal. If you don't know how to deal with it, find someone who does. What I'm probably going to do is talk to some of my friends on here who are mental health professionals, and, set up some sort of database. But if you can't deal with it, find someone who does. We are carrying things unnecessarily. I said on Sunday, we had an amazing paint and praise at church on Sunday. And as we were closing out, or as we were starting, I don't remember. I said, it's funny. When I go to the gym, I don't see people carrying weights to the gym. They're not lifting weights at home and bringing it to the gym to work out at the gym with the gym weights and then carrying the weights back home. This stuff that we're not dealing with, we're carrying this weight around. I'm telling you, put it down. You don't have to carry it anymore. You are doing unnecessary work. Put the weight down. Deal with however you were feeling. And anyone who tells you that you shouldn't feel that way, I'm live, I have to be nice, ignore them. They probably mean well, but some of the worst advice has come from people who mean well. Feel what you're feeling. You're not a robot. Okay? You're not a robot. And if you have to take a few days, a few weeks to sort of separate yourself and sort through your feelings, do that. Definitely do that. Take whatever time you need, but deal with it. Once you deal with it, once you put it away, once it's, put in its box and put on the shelf, move on. Because in dealing with it, you will see how you've changed for the better. You'll see what lessons it has taught you that it's been designed to teach you. And then you can apply that knowledge to your life going forward. Just wanted to jump on and encourage you that in this journey, it's lots of twists and turns, ebbs and flows, ups and downs, highs and lows. But it's all part of the journey. And if we keep going, we will get to the end. We'll get to even certain checkpoints. We'll get to these checkpoints and things will begin to make more and more sense. Have a very good night. Thanks for joining us. Have a happy holiday, happy and healthy holiday. If you're traveling anywhere, be safe, be smart. Those of you who are in college who happen to see this, tomorrow night, the police say is a worse night for drunk driving accidents and things of that nature than even New Year's, because the college kids are home for Thanksgiving break. Be safe. Know where you're going, know who you're going with, make good decisions. Have a happy holiday. Be blessed. Remember that you limit where you can go. The sky is not the limit. You are. Go as far as you dare dream. Peace and blessings. I love you, mija.